Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek.
It's a double whammy this week, and we're not talking about the Klingons. Star Trek Discovery gets ever so close to the 10C, and Booker and Tarka sneak aboard to release the hot banana. Plus, Star Trek Picard Season 2 starts with a bang and a cue.
Oh man, this shower is so good, that sonic shower. What, Tot? What do you mean it's time for the show already? No, it isn't. It's time for the show? Who fucking set the clocks different on board? Don't laugh. What do you mean you got high off of dust? Oh, wait, let me put at least pants on. Hold on. Oh, I don't hear our preamble music. Are we already on?
We're on, sir.
Damn it.
We've been waiting here for like a minute.
Oh, son of a... Okay, all right.
Yeah, we all heard you put your pants on.
Okay. Or apparently the dots are trying to pretend that they get high off of dust for some reason. And they've been like messing around in my quarters, and one of them changed the clocks. I thought I had another 10 minutes.
And we're going to have to change the clock soon.
I swear they're just using the dust as an excuse to act in a way that they normally aren't allowed to act.
Yeah, because I saw one rolling down the corridor going, the colors. So I don't know what the hell is going on with that. And I would get Patrick to check them out. But of course, he's away on Freecloud right now doing computer support for all things. I had no idea that there's country music festivals that happen in Freecloud.
It's everything. It's an entertainment capital of the galaxy.
Oh, that's true. I don't know why he volunteered, but he said something about when he saw the Ferenginar, he was like, I may want me some of that ear. So I don't know what he's going to be doing.
He's got an ear fetish, apparently.
Yeah.
You didn't know about this.
What, I was walking down the hallway and I heard you call it something. What was it? He was doing a Dick-Mox?
He was going to Dick-Mox. He's going to try with Dick-Mox. It's like, what the fuck is Dick-Mox? He's like, don't you worry. He's like, I'm going to go where no man has gone before. So it's like, what the hell?
Oh, by the way, this podcast is not for kids.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't figured it out already.
Yeah, if you're listening, this is one podcast that will never be sponsored by CBS or Paramount. So I'm going to let you know that now.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm surprised they let us watch the shows in advance.
This is not brought to you by the letter D or the number 69, I swear.
No, so it's definitely not. However, we do have some minor news to give. First off, we are being brought to you by Section 31, as well as our Patreon users. So thank you so much. I normally say I have a full crew complement, but you've already heard Patrick is off ship today. He's over at Freecloud, but I do have my wonderful science officer and my stunningly handsome engineer. So we're here, and you have me. I know, don't groan. Yeah, you got me, so I'm here as well. First off, I can't even ask if there's corrections because
don't worry about it.
Yeah, so we're not going to worry about it. Chances are we're flawless anyway.
There's never any corrections because nobody bothers to correct us.
Well, first we need listeners, and then the listeners will contact us and correct us. So first we got to get the listeners.
Well, they never sent us any emails, and we don't even get like a thank you card, you know?
No, we get some people to post up. So our podcast is an effort in mental masturbation.
And we do have a few people saying thank you via our Patreon account. Thank you.
Well, that's true.
Well, yeah. We're sponsored by Section 31 and by the Patreons, but I have a feeling they may be one and the same.
I had a Section 31. I was asking him, so what's your donation level in it? And he had the nerve to look at me and said, we're Section 31. We don't pay for shit. What the hell?
We get it all, and we don't have to pay for any of it.
Seriously.
I wonder if Section 31 found a back door via Patrick.
Well, he would give them a back door. So, yeah, I'll probably hear about it. If he listens to the show on the way back, I'll definitely hear about that comment. But while we're doing it, we might as well hit the news. What do you got for... Oh, wait, let me restart. Oh, my God. We have today with us, of course, my wonderful... intelligent, inventive science officer.
Oh, Aw, Captain, thank you. Hi, I'm Heather Ferris. I'm the science officer, and I swear to God, I did not teach that dot how to laugh.
Well, it sounds very disturbing.
You should have heard it the first time. No. We got it actually sounding decent this time. At least he's not going around like doing the maniacal laugh that makes you think he's like an evil villain.
Yeah. He's something
that one.
else. Oh my God. And we have our wonderful engineer who was in the galley this morning with the chubby, turned around too quick and knocked my coffee all over the floor.
Whoops. I didn't ask you if you wanted cream, sir. I did not ask you anything about cream, so don't worry.
I was like, oh my God, could you like wait in your cabin for a little bit before you come to the galley with the morning wood?
Gotta, well, you know, shit has to get done in the morning and you just got to get up and get moving.
Yeah, it kind of, I heard one of the crew members said when you run down the corridor, it looks like a Metrodome going from side to side. So we have our engineer, winner of the O'Brien Award.
Yeah, among other things, apparently. Good morning, everybody, or afternoon or evening, depending on where your time zone is set. I'm Rocky, the engineer of the show and the ship. And this dot over here has just been sitting there going, I am so happy right now. And I ask him why, what's up? He says, I am so happy right now. And he's got this little blue dust, and I don't know what's up with this dot, but I'm not complaining.
I swear I had nothing to do with the blue dust or the making of the blue dust. I blame that all on Heisenberg.
You realize that we're going to be the first ship in history to actually have our computers to go on a AAA thing. So, which is going to be really interesting. We're going to have to put them in isolation and put them in Betty Ford Clinic. So it's going to be interesting. News. What do you got for me today, Heather?
Hi, Captain. So my news for this week is Star Trek: The Next Generation will be leaving Netflix in April 2022. So if you want or can or are able to, go check it out. Watch it before you can never watch it on Netflix again.
Wow, they're really circling the wagons.
Yeah, you got to remember, if you're binging it right now, remember exactly where you are in the season and which episode. So when you jump over to Paramount Plus, you can find it again, because there are a lot of episodes to keep track of in that thing.
Yeah, either that or you have 1 month to binge the entire thing.
Go. Yeah, ready? Go.
You can do it. You can do it. Just don't, go to the bathroom.
If you have a portable device, take it with you in the bathroom. That'll help you cut down on, many minutes of waiting and pausing.
Right. Just start after you listen to our podcast.
Yeah, and you can put it on the shower head wall and watch it there and everything else. I noticed a lot of studios are beginning to do that. Even Marvel, all the Marvel shows used to be on Netflix. Disney is pulling them onto Disney Plus. So everybody's circling the wagons. They want to be the single source for all their good stuff. Speaking about my single source for good stuff on this ship, Rocky, what do you got for us news-wise?
News-wise, well, I was looking into the release of the CD of the release of the motion picture soundtrack. They've remastered this sucker a couple times now. They did one from Digital Masters from way back in the day, from early technology digital mastering, and they were good for the time, but apparently today we have more technology, better technology to redigitize from the analog masters. They had 16 multi-track masters, and they were able to remaster it from those and make an even better, cooler sounding mix of every track and every song. And all the bonuses. They got lots of extra bonus features. So that's apparently out and available exclusively on CD right now.
I need that.
So I don't work in engineering, so please explain this to me, Rocky. If you enhance it and then enhance it again and then enhance it again, doesn't that sort of degrade the file?
Well, yes, and that's the problem with it. You enhance it, especially with the earlier technology, when you re-enhanced the digital master from the 80s. Mm-hmm. That was pretty good for the 80s, but now it's 2020-something, and we've got even better technology. And they didn't go back to the same digital master from the 80s. They went back to the analog tapes, which were pure. I mean, complete analog signal on those tapes. And they have better noise reduction technology now and all of that good jazz. They could do a lot more with
the original source material than they could have back then. So you're apparently supposed to be a lot better stuff right now. Better dynamic range. I mean, it's just a beautiful soundtrack in the first place. But to hear it remixed with a new ear for today sounds really exciting and really cool.
Is that how Patrick met that Ferengi?
It was a music engineer from Ferenginar. Yeah, you never know. They may be very good at that. I had to get a kick there showing more behind the scenes in this article on from TrekMovie.com. They were, there's more details into the drama of, there's literally, it's like anything musical you hear from the music industry. There's all this backstory drama that you don't hear about, but is going on. And this is no exception to Star Trek land. Of course, there's plenty of drama in that. So they have a little bit of that in the article, but I got a kick out of seeing the behind the scene pictures of the guys behind the mixing consoles. In the background, one of the shots, they have a full-size Robbie the robot standing at attention.
Oh, that's cool.
So even Robbie the robot is checking out and taking a look at the mastering of this project.
I'm glad he escaped from Forbidden Planet. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's an awesome movie from way back, and just an iconic robot from the elder times.
Somebody who wound up getting firmly entrenched in the comedy, but back then he was a serious actor, was Leslie Nielsen.
Oh.
Yes, indeed.
He played the captain there, so in a serious role.
Cool.
Okay, my news. For those of you that watched Picard last time, where all the starships came to get that entity out of the way with Riker and the Titan, people who saw the show said all the starships looked really cut and paste, and they weren't feeling it. So for this year, for Picard, when they wanted to do a bunch of ships together, they decided that we need to change up. So we don't have the time or the budget or effort to do and design all these different ships. Where can we do it? And of course, there's always one of us everywhere we are. A nerd was like, I play Star Trek Online. We have tons of ships in there. Like, get the fuck out of here. Really? Show me. And they went and it's like, oh my God, these ships are gorgeous. And so they put the starships in Star Trek Online into Picard. So when you get to see that scene where all the starships come rushing in, that's who you have to thank for that.
Oh my God.
It's a great online
There was some
game.
Nice variety going on. Yeah.
I can't believe all those ships were from the video game.
Well, just about all except for the Stargazer. The Stargazer.
Stargazer?
Stargazer. I'm thinking of Patrick again because he's out there glazing ears. But the Stargazer was the one that they had what was done. All the other ships, though.
Well, the Excelsior looked very familiar.
Yeah.
My God, yes.
That ship is always, you talk about binging Next Generation. If you go through that series, the Excelsior makes so many appearances, and the reason is because they happen to have the model built and ready to go.
Yeah. Apparently, they're all very excited and did the happy clap with their hands because they said the gentleman who's responsible for all of this, production designer, David Blast, said they made my life so much more easier now, and we get to use the best possible ships on Picard. It's going to be an amazing experience for all the fans. So yes, I agree. Anytime I met the designers of Star Trek Online, I would always yell at them, stop making new ships because you're costing me money.
Well, next we have to yell at the wardrobe department for doing new outfits.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, there are so many clothes now.
Things to say. Now they're just showing off. Every episode's a fucking new uniform. It's just like, oh my God. Take that, you cosplayers.
I'm expecting them to open up a store specifically for cosplayers where they can have every outfit.
Give them time. They probably will. Okay, we got all of our news out of the way.
Can I do my shout outs?
Oh, that's right.
I was going to shout out a little bit here.
You were telling me that after you were helping me mop up the coffee.
Yeah. I was going to shout out, sir.
Yes.
If you didn't want cream with your coffee, but yeah. I was taking a look into the world of Trekkiedom that's out there on the net, and I actually got one of those Audible, memberships, and listened to the entire Picard No Man's Land.
Oh,
that's the
God.
one
How was that?
With Seven and Rafi, and
How was that?
The production was great. It was just like listening to a regular radio drama. And if you want to hear the romance between Seven and Rafi, oh yeah, there's some. I actually think I heard a little bit of kissing in there too. But yeah, you hear what it's like with them hanging out together. It's very intimate.
Now that explains why you knocked my coffee over. You probably just
finished it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was pretty good. It was a big finish too. It was a very cool story. I've got to give props to the actors they had that besides them, besides Jerry Ryan and Rafi.
Michelle
Hurd, yes, who are tremendous actors. They're wonderful. But they had these other voice actors too that were on this. Of course, you may have recognized Fred Tatasciore. What was his name? The guy from who's played Shax.
Yeah.
He's in there, and there's another actor that I can't remember from another show that I didn't watch, but is pretty big. The voice quality acting on these shows, I mean, that's like you worry about being in the world of podcasting such as we are. Where is this industry going? Where is the audio generation going? Because, radio these days is just the same music all the time. The music's not getting that much better. I mean, sometimes music's cool, but it's like a different world now. I guess I'm getting too old for this shit.
Stop listening to the AM channel.
But, thanks a lot. I like the AM channel sometimes when they're playing music. I don't like it when they're talking. But
Wolfman Jack here talking about Star Trek.
The Golden Oldies, baby.
Show.
Rock and rolla. Yeah,
Isn't the only music they play is like orchestra or,
I don't know about now, but back then they played
I was going to say Oprah. Oprah's music.
I don't know if Oprah would be okay. Let me not. I was going to say something mean, but I'm not. So go ahead. Let's go ahead. Let's finish up. Rocky.
That was I highly recommend it. It's worth the jumping into the world of Audible, just because it opens up a whole nother world of stuff to listen to. But that was a very fun production to listen to, and to hear those actors do a sideshow essentially of the what happened between seasons 1 and seasons 2 of Picard. Well, that's what happened. Raffi and Seven are doing stuff. They're saving the galaxy.
That just happened.
So does it say why Raffi and Seven are not together at the moment when the show starts and why they're separated?
You get an ending to the episode and realize that they are definitely doing things, that things are happening in their galaxy. So when you step into Picard, you realize that step has happened and things have happened because it's like a year and a half later.
Mm-hmm.
That's things have moved.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, what is the name of that audiobook again for our listeners?
Star Trek Picard, No Man's Land.
Y'all hear that?
Yeah.
So
it was very cool. And, some science fiction there too. I mean, you got the immortality vibe in some of that. It's very cool stuff. And you hear what's going on with the Rangers. You hear some more Fenris Rangers on the show. It was very cool.
So we're going to definitely have to, wherever we get a slow moment, that'll probably be a homework assignment somewhere far down the road. But the way Paramount is going,
did someone say Slo-Mo?
Did I say
Slo-Mo of Raffi and Seven?
Oh, that's
Slo-Mo?
kinky.
Isn't Slo-Mo one of the Stooges?
The Stooges. One other plug I have to plug. The Shuttlepod Show. It's on YouTube. And it's the guys who played Trip and Malcolm from Star Trek Enterprise. And they've had some cool... There've only been 2 shows into this thing so far. But it's like a full-on talk show. It's on video, so you can see what's going on. First one, they talk with John Billingsley, which is, the glorious Phlox. And the second show, they talked with Gary Graham, who was actually a little bit cooler than I thought he was. Because when I saw him on stage, I was like, oh, who the hell is this guy anyway? He's kind of a character.
He's fun.
But he's down to earth. Talking to him, he's actually a pretty cool cat. And they got neat stories about what it's like being on the show and sometimes showing up and having to deal with guest stars that appear on your show and they can't figure out how to do all these crazy technobabble lines, how they get around doing that, the tricks actors play. It's kind of fun stuff to listen to. And it's neat hearing these the shows that are produced by the actors that were actually on the shows. So that's a YouTube show you can watch. It's called Shuttlepod Show. And then if you guys are Voyager fans, you can listen to the Delta Flyers on their podcast because they've got the same kind of vibe too, because they've got Paris and Harry Kim talking back and forth about what it was like being the actors on the shows. And it's neat to hear that stuff. And of course,
Starfleet Underground started a couple of years ago, and now we have all of these other Star Trek podcasts.
For what it's worth,
why?
It's not their first show either.
Trend? Did we start a trend?
There's so many pod shows on now.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
There is, but I think we started a trend. My headcanon says so. So there's that.
And then it was fun watching images from the Star Trek cruise pop up in my feeds on Twitter.
Yeah.
People are having good times. And there was a glorious clip of Ken Mitchell doing another one of his comedy routines and appearances where he gets huge amounts of applause from the Star Trek fans because
I'm gonna have to take
what
a look
guy.
at that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's amazing. I'm going to have to take a look at that. I keep wanting to go to the cruise, but I'm going to see what happens after this one. If it was a super spreader, and if it wasn't, then I may go next year. So we'll see. one little bit of information on there, since you had mentioned John Billingsley. He was going to be a guest on one of the Star Trek shows, the new one. I believe it might have been Discovery.
Strange New Worlds, I think.
Strange New Worlds. That's it. Thank you, Heather.
You're
and they
welcome.
turned around and they said they wanted him to audition. And he's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. You know, I was on the show.
Yeah, you've seen his work. You don't need to make him audition. At certain points, actors of their caliber have done this so many times.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, that's just insulting.
No,
that is a little insulting to hear that.
So
I'm
I
kind of
agree.
upset.
Yeah, because so it's like whoever called him in, it's like you didn't know who you were talking to. So.
I mean, unless they're having him play another character entirely, and they're not sure he can do
but I've seen him in so many things. He's got the chops. I've seen him do serious roles where he was a murderer. I've seen him do a doctor. I've seen him do coroners. He's a really phenomenal actor. So that's their loss. Okay, we've got all the news and stuff out of the way. I guess it's because Patrick is out diddling a Dick-Mox ear. I'm going to do the recap. Oh, wait, before I even get into that, it's going to be a special show today. Today, you're getting two things.
Oh, one, 2 for the price of one.
2 for the price of one. Two.
Wait, where are the Klingons?
No.
Wrong show, Heather.
Damn, that's not a channel.
It's not a channel, no.
We're going to be getting me doing a recap of Discovery, and Heather is going to be doing the recap of Picard.
So that's a tag team, not a double team.
That's right. And it's been a long time since Heather and I tag team someone, so this is going to be pretty cool. All right, so let's get ready to get started here. So this is going to be a recap here of Star Trek Discovery episode Rosetta, the 11th episode, season 4. Some of this, Heather and I collaborated for a little bit on it, and then I ran crazy because she was tired of me.
Oh my God. Captain did like 95% of the work for this episode.
So here we go. All right. The countdown begins. They have 29. I know that's from 24. But they got 29 hours before Earth is destroyed. And they're facing all kinds of... Stop it, Dot. I told you only do it once. Sorry about that. 29 hours before Earth is destroyed. And they're facing two problems. How to penetrate the hyperfield so they can talk face-to-face with species 10C. And how to convince them once they started talking. They need a common ground area. And the only way to do that is to go to learn more about them and go through their drawers. So now it's time to suit up with Starfleet's brand new Space Ninja uniforms. Cue Quentin Tarantino's badass soundtrack as they walk down the hall
in slow-mo
to the shuttle area, to the planet that inspired the Beatles' Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, this time with a Dyson Sphere. Meanwhile, Tarka and Book want to sneak aboard and fuck with the computer so they can hide on Discovery's hull. Seriously? But hey, I'm not the head writer, but it could happen. The emissaries are being very whiny. And why does the Earth president looks like she's smelling something bad or got to take a shit? Time will tell. They grudgingly agree to let Michael do her thing. After all, she's dressed like a ninja. Good luck. Wishing them good luck worked. I wonder if someone didn't wish them good luck if they would have crashed. Deep thoughts. Anyway, scans show no live sites, not even Riddick. But there's LSD, and it's a ninja strain of LSD, and Saru is the first one to start tripping with an attitude. They discover big bones that could float. Whoever was the owner could float them. And there's a building underground. Meanwhile, my new name for him is Turdka, makes something to hide his biosigns. So now it's time to do some sneaking. But their ninja suits aren't as cool as Discovery's. And when they go to beam in, Turdka hits his head on the ceiling. I totally believe Book did that shit on purpose. The Prez is trying to calm nerves, but there's one guy who got straight A's in the complete Candor class, and she has to correct him. So Book and Tarka turn into peeping Toms as they're listening to the Earth president talk behind Michael's back, and Book gets an idea. Meanwhile, on the planet, the search goes on. The search goes on. And people get high with the rhythm of the dust. La-di-da-di-dee. La-di-da-di-da. They finally figure it out with Detmer's help because, unlike everyone else, she watches where she steps and touches. They finally figure it out and block the dust. Yay! But look, they're cribs. They get the bright idea. Let the dust back in. Ooh, we have no more scary thoughts. And we have warm fuzzies. We could use this to communicate. Drugs for the win. But guess who's back? back again. Reno's back. Reno's back while pervy Tarka looks on and tries to cause a distraction. And it sucks to be him because then he tries to hide his big ass under a table and Reno spots him. While Book makes it over to the Earth president and turns her into a spy. Michael makes it back to the ship. And I'm wondering if Reno found him and she makes it back to the ship, why the hell aren't people screaming and yelling about it? But we find out. They decide to get the dots high. Oh, that's why the dots are high here. Okay. And they get more dust to analyze. Okay. Book peeks at Michael, again, being pervy, and Detmer makes a friend. And they sit and they talk about things, which is really cool. And Michael and Cobra talk about deep thoughts and how they're going to communicate in success. So it's a sobering little moment there. And Book goes to leave and Tarka sitting there with Reno. What the fuck? That was my recap.
I love that. Turdka.
Yeah, because he's a turd. I really don't.
That was awesome.
Okay. With the whole thing, with them coming on the board, the ship to blind the supercomputer, and they get things to mask their heartbeat and
it's really the people that sit there and they just copy your answers during the test. They don't do their own. They just like, oh, let's copy their answers because they don't. So we're just gonna sneak aboard, jump, magnetically attach our ship to your ship, and not doing the job.
And peep on your showers.
Yeah,
peep on your showers while we wait.
and listen to stuff you're saying in the shower. I mean, the cafeteria. Yeah.
I was wondering, okay, all right, I get the fact that they're going to mask their heartbeats. I get the facts that they're supposed to be able to mask, but little things, and from an engineering perspective, that kind of bothered me a little on the show, is that they beamed on board. The computer couldn't pick up an energy signature that just all of a sudden came somewhere.
Nope, so they snuck aboard just the right. Yeah. They know where the hole in the scan is, and that's where they sneak on in.
So they sneak into the hole, which a lot of people try to do. I think they call
surprise
that,
entry.
Yeah, surprise.
Don't they call that rape in some areas?
Yeah. So
poor Zora.
He snuck in, and then raped. Now let's say they did sneak into the hole that Zora didn't see, but they're opening up shit.
She basically feel it; they were too small.
Spying up. Oh my god. Well, see, it was a good thing it wasn't Book actually doing the spying, so I can go with that. So, but they open up things and they're looking to spy on people. I mean, you're supposed to go straight to your objective. Why are you spying on people?
Well, it's crime of opportunity right there. I mean, just why not? Wait, we can get some intel. You got some time,
And hey, we have plenty of time, so let's do some hot bananas.
Yeah, we got 29 hours to go. Let's but I love the hot bananas. That was a great call of the lower decks.
Tarka and I thought saw the lower decks.
We need a diversion. What are we gonna do?
Hot banana.
They got a call. Jett gets a call. What do you want now? Well, there's the replicators. They're hot bananaing again. I'm like,
they're spitting out hot bananas.
Oh my god, that's probably like, oh shit, the Boimer error has occurred again.
Well, you don't want to. You got to stop that pretty quick because then then you're surrounded by a bunch of hot bananas, and that turns into another video that's on another channel. That's not a channel.
No, that's not a channel. Jett is like, we're not even in the Milky Way galaxy. We have to fix this, or we are all starving to death.
Yeah. Well, that too. Yeah, you don't want your replicators to over-replicate all your food into hot bananas.
It was good to see Jett back. I will say, to see Reno.
She's been missing.
Yeah, she has. They wouldn't say where she was. At least if they did, I don't recall. But it was definitely pretty cool to see her. But they're low crawling, doing a die soft because they weren't doing die hard. But they're crawling through the things trying to get to an area. And Book gets an idea because he saw that the Earth president is basically being a little grumble bitch. So he's like, I need to go talk to her.
Well, he realizes that there's like another ally in the Earth president. So
yeah, who's that guy that took the complete Candor class?
Oh, the science guy. I don't know his name.
Guy.
I like him though. He's that's exactly what his problem is. He's got total candor. He's like me when I went on some engineering with some clients and my bosses went, and we're trying to set up like a live stream and something with the computer's not working, and I'm just saying it's not like I'll reboot it, but I'm having trouble with the technology, and there is no filter on me when I am trying to get something done. So I will say something right in front of a client that apparently is not a good thing to say in front of a client. And I think this guy has the same exact problem.
Yeah, I used to be that until my boss made me go to a customer service class. I was bad.
My God.
Coming out of the Marines, I was really
And you're
bad.
sitting there going, well, the fucking thing is fucked. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, the client's right there. No, we'll be fine. It just be a moment.
He kind of had that because the president of the Federation was like, dude, you can't keep going around being a sourpuss. Cheer up a little bit. Like, put some optimism in there. People need, to see that.
Well, she's trying to be supportive, and he needs him to be supportive. He needs him to be on her team. Let's be supportive together. We need the positivity going, and don't say the wrong fucking thing.
Well, that's why it was really funny at the end when he was going all negative. It's like, but you actually need 3 things to, and she cuts him a look, and he all of a sudden puts his little thumb up. But good job.
That was hilarious.
The irony is he's brought in to help try to figure out how to communicate with these aliens. Communication is like the whole sole theme of this episode. Yeah. And he's the one that is not the best communicator.
No,
that's what's really funny. Is that, he's supposed to be the expert communicator. He can't do anything. Oh, my God.
Well, he communicates directly, but just a little too directly.
Bluntly.
It's like going to support. And it's like, can you help me? Yeah, it's a little late for that. What do you mean? Nothing. I just take care of it. Oh, I'm sorry. What I did was really stupid. Yeah, it kind of was. What was that? No, nothing. Adams, I'm sending you to class. So I get it.
Didn't Patrick have to go to that class?
No.
No, that's
Patrick,
Facebook jail.
Yeah, that's
that's the other
else.
one.
Patrick, yeah.
He repeatedly goes to Facebook jail for that sort of thing.
All the time.
Patrick would not be a good poker player because when we used to work together and if he had somebody who was annoying, you could tell instantly because he'd be like, this is Patrick. What can I do for you? You did what? Why? You did what?
You dumb mother. No, just kidding. This is why he's banned from Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, a lot. He's still, I've watched his Twitter things. He's still skirting the edge. But it was kind of cool. They get down there and Saru, being, I guess, an alien, not Earth-centric, somebody went down to the planet and he got affected first without touching anything. At least I don't recall him touching anything.
He walked over the blue sand.
Oh, okay. Thank you, my sharp-eyed science officer.
Well, apparently it's that it's not that you're reaching out and touching it. It's that your spacesuit has filters that apparently are missing this element. And
right,
it's
because
letting
they
it
didn't
through.
know about it.
And he just happened to get the element before anybody else did.
See, he didn't have any pets because obviously anybody sees a stain on the floor, they're going to walk over that shit.
Exactly. That's true. Yeah, it doesn't look dry, does it? Yeah, step over that.
And then he walks over it. And then, of course, again, you have Dr. Colbert kneels in it.
Yeah, whoops.
It's like, what the hell, dude? It just looks strange.
And Burnham's going to eventually touch it.
So it's kind of the whole thing's like COVID. It's like COVID.
Only sensible person is the one with the pretty orange accents on her spacesuit. Oh, was it yellow on your screen? I had orange.
Oh, you had orange? Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I love her yellow spacesuit.
But she was socially distanced. You noticed that?
Yeah.
Yes.
What they should have done was Detmer being in yellow, and then they should have had red and blue to signify the command and the science.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
So yes, because they definitely had white for Colbert.
I know, but he should have been blue. And then Michael should have been red and Saru should have been red. And I love Detmer being yellow. I just love that.
Oh, she's a badass.
Yeah, that was cool. She we know how much of the bad. I mean, they even say she is in fact the shit.
Yeah, they even bring that up several times. She even has a fan club.
She totally has a fan club. I'm with that fan club.
Yeah,
Adira recognized how cool and rock solid, especially in the heat of the moment, Detmer is. And that's a beautiful attribute to this person. I love how badass Detmer has always been, especially in the moments of heat where you've got to be able, not the moments of heat, that's something else.
Wow, chicka, wow, wow.
Yeah. But
is that how those stains got on the floor?
That could be. Detmer is, when you need somebody solid in the moment of action, she's rock solid.
Yeah,
she's
but
amazing.
I'm glad that she had a chance to talk to, oh my God, what are their names again? Adira.
Yeah.
Because Adira was under the impression that Detmer was always rock solid.
Right.
And so now he gets a chance, it's not a weakness. It happens to everybody.
The thing Jett Reno said was, no one's always okay, kid.
I love that saying.
Even if they seem perfect, and that's one thing you learn with age. You realize that there's not child and adult. We're all basically the same people. Even if we're older, and we may have more experience, but inside we're all just a bunch of kids.
What Jett says word for word is everyone, no matter how calm their veneer is that they present, is kind of a mess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's things going on that happen in combat and everything else. You can't allow yourself to freak out because you got people under you. So you just always got to be kind of calm and collected, and to try to figure things out as you go. But on the inside, you're screaming and yelling like everyone else.
You're a mess on the inside, but you don't show it. But you are a mess.
But Detmer, apparently her skill is putting things in boxes. That's one way to separate and delegate, I guess, inside your own head even.
That's one of the symptoms of trauma is being able to compartmentalize things, because that's what you had to do. Sorry, did I go a little too deep there?
Oh, you just made me think of some things. So that was pretty good. Again, the big brain is on our science officer today. Outstanding.
Thank you. My favorite part in this episode was when the president of Navarre asked Saru on a date in the hologram, and then the look on Michael's face and
that was funny.
Stamets' face. Yeah.
That was a moment. Like, wait a minute. What's going on here?
You know what that means. They're going to the holodeck.
Well, it was funny. Well, when I typed holodeck into my iPad, it autocorrected to holodeck. I'm like, what?
Holodeck.
That was a typo. That was my fault.
Boom, chicka chow wow.
Yeah, so she wanted to get the holodeck. That's the right word from Saru.
She's probably. I see you have ridges on your face and hands. Are you ridged everywhere?
Ribbed for her pleasure.
So.
And apparently everyone says he gives good hugs, so that's important.
Yeah, well, yeah. His Doug is just, oh my God. Yeah, he's just fucking amazing. But it was definitely to get down on the planet, and I could see, again, that's...
you're not talking about the Vulcan president?
No, I'm moving on a little bit.
Okay, sorry.
So you can just tell that what a good actor that she is, because when they went down to the planet and there's nothing but like fucking trees and foliage, it's like, I need to find technology. I can't come here and fail to look on. I
didn't see any trees or foliage.
Well, there was like things that was floating in the background. It was a gas
giant, and it's amazing that we're even standing there as far as I'm concerned. I don't know how the gravity works.
It looked like the dunes.
I kept expecting Riddick to come out.
Yes.
With his glasses. It's just like, where's all the aliens? They obviously didn't know who they were fucking with.
Yes. And I love the fact that when they land on the planet, they just cloak their ship. And I'm thinking, damn, that's a nice anti-theft device.
It works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Nobody's had their ship stolen that was cloaked.
That's actually a smart idea. I saw a commercial once a long time ago where somebody had used vinyl on their car to make it look like a piece of shit. And so the vinyl on it was all like rust spots and rusted out and all this other stuff. But you pull the vinyl off.
On that same note, they make a car cover that has a much nicer and fancier car than what you have underneath it.
That's funny.
That's what I would do. Because I drive around and it's an older car. It's basically it's a piece of shit, but it's my piece of shit. So if they want to take and come into it, they're welcome to it, because there ain't shit in there, man.
They look under the car cover and they're like, this isn't a Corvette. This is a piece of shit.
Exactly. This isn't that fancy.
That's when you put a sign on it. Please steal me. I need the insurance money.
Oh, man. Well, speaking of sage advice, they had a lot of sage advice in this episode. I was really impressed. One of the things that really stuck out at me, and I think this is a quote that I'm going to take with me forever, Saru, he said, "We would not be who we are if we had not experienced all that we did." And I'm like, oh my God, that's an amazing quote.
That's true.
And they have experienced quite a lot, too.
Yeah.
Especially Saru.
They're totally different.
He's got a completely unique vantage point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He would not be the same person today if he had not done the things that led him up to Star Trek.
Yeah. If he didn't build that communication device.
Right. He would still be on the planet scared out of his mind and eventually cold.
He would have been, he would have been lunch.
Yeah, he would have been lunch.
So it's definitely...
He would have been sushi.
Interesting. And the Discovery did a good job with deep thoughts. However, I'm really curious how Reno allowed herself to be kidnapped. I think she's got an alternate plan.
Reno comes up to Tarka and she's like, please tell me I didn't just spoil a surprise party. And the look on their faces was hilarious.
And the badge is fucking right there. How could she not have tapped it?
Yes.
And alert or something. Unless
Or transport away.
Thank you. She's got some sort of alternate plan because Tarka, one, he had to get his fat ass off the floor to grab her, in order to keep her from escaping. So I'm curious how that shit's going to play out next episode.
It'll be very interesting because I have a feeling maybe she's kidnapped, but she's not a prisoner.
No. And, when Book comes back and he sees her, Chet's like, nothing like coming home to an unexpected hostage. And the look on Book's face.
Now, did she still have her badge? I don't recall if her badge
I
was
don't
still
remember.
on her in that position.
I'd have to go back and look.
Again.
Good point. They probably, I would have swiped that too. Yeah.
Yeah, because first off, as soon as she leaves the ship, they're going to know she's not on the ship. And Indira's going to come, where the hell is Reno?
I can only imagine.
Or even Linus.
Oh goodness. I can only imagine the talk that Book is going to give Tarka after he's going to be like, can I talk with you for a second? Come here. Let me
like you,
what the fuck are you doing? You just fucking kidnapped Jett Reno. What the hell?
What the fuck?
You realize that all the people on this fucking ship, you had this kidnapped MacGyver.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
So it was definitely, we might as well go ahead and do the rating on this one before we jump into Picard.
One last thing before we do the rating.
Yeah.
One more sage advice that Jett gave was to Adira, don't start the conversation with, I want to be you. It's kind of creepy.
That's true. It
was good advice because that would be like the first thing that would be out of Adira's mouth. I want to be you. You are so cool. And it's like, get away, get out of me.
That's kind of creepy.
You want to wear my skin?
Stalker.
It's like, what? It puts the lotion on its skin.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay. I really like this episode, though, because it sets up what's coming up.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of big questions because we're learning, we're still trying to figure out the science of how they're going to communicate with this being that apparently sheds dandruff that makes people hallucinate emotionally, which was really a trip on its own because outside, you can feel the trauma and inside you can feel the love. Talk about crazy A's and B's. And then they sent the dots out and they had 16 different versions of this. So you can only imagine the range. How do you communicate from that? That'll be very interesting. But apparently everybody thinks they can.
They're going to have to have like a board with a bunch of atomizers on it. And when they want to talk, they have to spray them one at a time like perfume samples.
Yeah, they pull out the can.
Which one's for hello? Shh. Okay.
That's actually a good
that was
idea.
The fuck you can. Whoops.
Where's the one that says we're sorry? Shh.
That was the horny can.
Oh no!
Like, oh my god!
Who labeled these things?
But this is one of the first times that they came across an alien that was on a planet, at least in my opinion, and correct me out there, people or any of the crew members, that wasn't humanoid.
Completely not humanoid. They still don't know what they are.
No, they look like really large animals that fly.
Well, that could just be their cows. For all we know,
maybe
that was their dinner at the time when they got attacked. We don't know.
It could be their mount, like a horse.
Yeah, they could be their ride around. Yeah, their transport.
It's going to be interesting.
It could be their pet puppies with them. You just don't know.
Puppies.
But the other side of it was, what if we figure out how to communicate and we're able to successfully say, please, you're hurting us. Stop killing our planets. And they just won't care. What if that happens?
Well,
That's
that was
scary.
How do you communicate with somebody that will not listen or sympathize with you?
Or doesn't care.
That was the whole thing that Colbert said with Michael in the room. It's like, what happened if we talk to them and they don't care?
Yeah.
And it's a very scary thought. You can see the roots of reality where they're basing a lot of this stuff out of, even this episode. And even in Star Trek Picard, you can see some of this reality influenced of the times reflecting in Star Trek.
I'm glad they did that.
Well, just like the Picard did the sage advice to Data that time, which was really good. You can do everything right and still lose.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a flaw. That's life.
That's just life. Yeah.
Yeah. For us to find out, we have only 2 episodes left. So I'm going to ask myself, Nathan, do you know the title of the next episode? No, they don't have the title yet. I've looked on IDB. I looked everywhere. There's no title yet. So why do you keep asking me when you know there's never going to be a title? Okay, I'm
true.
sorry.
He's got a point.
It's so true.
There's no title for next week. Okay. Question. Before we get ready to move on to Picard, what would you give this one on a 1 to 10, Heather?
I would give this a solid 8. It was a very good episode, even though it was a transition episode. I thought that they had a lot of good information in it. They had a lot of good quotes, a lot of good character development, good interactions between characters. And I think they did a really fantastic job with this episode.
Outstanding. How about you, Rocky?
I would give it a definite 8 hot banana. Steamy banana. Yeah.
An 8 hot banana. An 8-inch hot banana.
Oh, inch, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a solid 8.
It's hot to handle. Okay.
Yeah, it's steamy. It's warm.
I would have given it higher than what I'm going to give it, but the little technical things kind of bothered me some about when it comes to Zora and stuff, but I would give it an 8. I would have pushed it up to a hard 9, which a lot of people seem to like it when it's a 9, but I really think that it did well on it. I enjoyed the sage advice, as Heather was saying.
Yeah, there's a lot of good in this episode, and there's a lot of head scratching with the why Tarka and Booker, they want to do their own homework. They just want to piggyback, essentially. Yeah. That felt kind of weird, but at the same time, Book is like realizing what he's up against. He's up against Burnham, and he's like, dude, we should just copy her, man.
I'm not even going to go up against her. Just copy her.
Just copy her. She knows what's up.
Then the old 50s rom-com stuff where you had the cut camera between the walls. We had like Rock Hudson and what's her name on the other side of the bathroom, and you see both of them leaning against the wall.
That was cool.
Singing. So that was kind of neat.
It was not expected, and it was kind of neat. Yeah.
No, it was. Now, however,
and then they went to the showers after that. Okay. Yes.
They both in separate rooms. But now everybody's favorite part. Now that you get rid of me here, and I've done this. No. I'm going to bring the person that makes this sound really cool. Heather,
you did a fantastic job. I loved hearing your summary. That was funny. You did a good job with that.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I've lost my summary cherry. Okay. Your turn.
Hi, Captain. So our next episode is Star Trek Picard, Season 2, Episode 1, The Stargazer. It first aired March 3rd, 2022. We begin 1.5 years after Season 1. Picard is still a retired admiral, but is now the Chancellor of Starfleet Academy. That success hasn't helped him in the love department, though, as we watch him fail miserably at flirting while getting no action in return. Meanwhile, 7 and 9 is kicking some intergalactic ass when a rip in the fabric of space-time occurs right in front of her eyes. Starfleet is made aware and sends Captain Rios of the Starfleet vessel Stargazer to go analyze it. He makes a pit stop first and grabs Girardi for help. Good thing he did so because she was able to get the voicemail working from the aliens on the other side of the hole, and they are asking to speak specifically to Picard. Speaking of Picard, he decided to take a trip to 10 Forward to visit his old friend and mentor, Guinan, seeking advice on how to get lucky in love. When he returns, Starfleet notifies him of a giant space hole calling his name, literally. This might be the love connection he was looking for. Picard hops on the next starship out of here and reunites with the old team. 7, Picard, and Girardi are all on Rios' ship, and Picard returns the unknown alien's phone call, and those bastards come through the space-time tier to talk face-to-face. It's the Borg! They say they're going to send their queen over for negotiations, but that's not their queen. It's Dr. Octopus, who immediately attacks their ship, assimilating it. When Picard can't stop him, he blows up the ship, killing everyone, including the fleet of backup ships behind him. But instead of dying, Picard wakes up to an alternate reality when our favorite villain makes a grand entrance. It's Q! The trial never ends. Bum, bum, bum.
That was a sphincter puckering moment.
There were several of those this episode.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild.
He glossed over the opening sequence. That was sphincter puckering. Oh my God. Those poor 3 security people charging through the decks, the red alert going off.
And they got body slammed.
That talk about a teaser sequence. That was thrilling as all hell. And then they get to the bridge. I mean, I mean, talk about channeling all that adrenaline from First Contact. My goodness, that was exciting.
Did you guys notice that the new opening has new music and a different set of images in the opening title sequence?
It's totally updated. There's, what are my notes saying? All I remember is writing down Hourglass, and the Borg was inside the Hourglass.
Yeah.
That was the most important thing to me, but there's a lot of time-related imagery involved in that.
It really was. And it was kind of cool during this episode to see Picard as a little boy.
Yeah.
With his little, Oliver Twist hat. Please, sir, might I have some more? Running back and forth with his mom. It gives a little bit of an insight on how he is. And I guess losing his mother, his love is the starship. And I always thought there was a little sexual tension there between him and his housekeeper. But
they didn't have a holodeck.
No.
Yeah, that's the reason why.
That was the problem. If they had a holodeck, it would have been on. That was such a cool little moment, too. You realize that these two people, and I am so upset and sad to hear that the what's his name, the other Romulan guy didn't make it through season 2. I don't know what happened to him. It sounds like it was very sad and unexpected. And
did he pass away, the actor?
I think they had. I've never heard anything about that. I think I imagine they just had so much room to fill. And everybody loves Laris. I mean, Laris is wonderful. Everybody fucking loves her. She's great. But, although she is very tender, except when Picard's running late in the morning.
And no wonder Picard's not getting any pussy. He just fucking leaves his Romulan girlfriend without saying goodbye. He just leaves her.
He jumps up in the ship and takes right off.
How rude. No wonder why they're not together.
The stars are calling. See you later. He's out.
I'm very uncomfortable with this whole sexual romantic thing on the Earth, so I'm going to go up in the stars where I don't have to deal with that shit.
And the disturbing thing about this is we all know that Picard's a golem. He is fully functional in multiple techniques, and Laris was about to find out which one that she was going to enjoy that day, and then he just fucking jumps off and leaves because the Borg come calling.
Yeah, but she gives him some hard truths too. Sitting there in the chair, and she's like, well, you're like this because of this. And he's like, oh, fuck, she's right. How do I deal with someone that confronted me with my own flaws? I'll just fucking leave.
Just fucking take off. Fuck this. I'm out. Picard is solid, man.
Oh, man.
The visit with Guinan was so cool.
It was.
I love
They
that.
had a beautiful scene. I hope they have more scenes coming up. I don't know how it's going to fit in, but I want to see more of Guinan because she was great.
Earl Grey, piping hot.
I think it was cool the way they explained how everyone got older.
Yes.
I don't want to freak people out if it looks like I don't age. So here I am.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then with Q, how he comes in and he looks exactly like the 90s. And he's like, oh, you've aged. Here, let me catch up. And they did that perfectly.
It was well done.
It really was.
And the only thing that was so awkward in that is he comes in and he says, oh, Mon Captain. And I'm like, he's an admiral now.
I know.
Damn it, Q.
But I love, because Patrick Stewart is a bigger fan of John DeLance as I am, and as a lot of us are, because in the after show when he was on with Will Wheaton, he was saying about how times he was giving his lines and then John DeLance was talking as Q and he was just mouth agape.
just watching, yeah.
I mean, the performance that man was giving that close up, that was pretty intense.
Oh, he is amazing.
I got the tingles all up and down when the way he did.
That's another scene you wish was longer than it was.
Oh my God, was it? It just the way he stared at him, and Picard as well. That's the next show, so we can't talk about that.
Yeah, we saw the next show. We're not allowed to talk about
one.
it because Section 31 will kick our butts. But
neener.
We did see episode 2, so we do know what's coming.
The Section 31 saw fit to make sure we had an advanced screening of both episodes.
And then that we couldn't talk about it afterwards.
And then we can't talk about it.
Yeah.
They're like, we're going to be monitoring you.
You know how they normally censor and you go, this has been censored by Section 31? Well, they put something in me, so whenever I go to try, like for instance, that time when Q went to... Okay, I'm going to try to say
that sounded painful, sir. Don't do that.
It is. They got some sort of neural blocker.
Not in a good way.
So when Picard went to go... Fuck, never mind. I'm just not going to even try to say it. But it needless to say, you guys are in for an exciting on the next episode. But just the fact that, okay, I think it works on imagery. I wonder if I think of flowers and say what I need to say that I could spoil things for you guys.
But we're on a podcast. No one can see the imagery.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, it was cool seeing Q there. And the fact that they were on there, and it's like 7, I got to agree with her. It's the Borg. What the fuck you doing? Kill it now. Kill it now.
7 knew exactly what to do. She's like, they've even killed my family. What the fuck are you doing, Picard?
Yes.
Like, shoot it now. Kill it now.
Let's just get it over with. We know what they want. Like, let's just not even give them this time of day. And then Rios is like, okay, open a channel. And you'll see her in the background like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, she was like, what the hell? The whole thing.
I love the speaking of opening in a channel and talking, the moment where Rios was talking with 7 over when she's on La Soriana and Girardi's in the background waving, hi!
I love that.
That's like my FaceTime calls with my parents or my sister. It's so funny.
I would be Girardi in the background. Hey!
That was pretty cool.
And I love that she brought up the whole thing about drunk hailing.
Yes.
Because everybody's had that happen, right? That's kind of bad.
Yes.
Oh, my part being is security conscious. I love the fact that, disable security safety protocols. And that holodeck started beating the crap out of the intruders on the ship.
He's like, a little help here. Like, Captain, I can't help you,
Yeah, all my functions are disabled at the moment. You have to change those settings.
It's like, oh, yeah, fine. Okay, yeah. Disable medical or hologram safeties.
And those guys weren't smart to begin with because he's there. They shoot him 3 times and you see it go through him. It's like, hey, after the first time, it should give you a fucking idea. You're not going to be able to shoot it.
And did you guys notice this, that the hologram is named Emmett and it's all of the holograms merged together into one hologram?
No.
Yeah, apparently she was able to merge them all into one, which is very convenient because it's a little crazy getting around with more than one Rios at once. Yeah. But she wasn't able to disable the therapeutic plugins.
I didn't realize that. That makes sense now.
Well, he's super hardcore and badass and macho, and he's also very emotionally in contact and helping to...
And tatted up.
And tatted up, but he also wants to make sure she's feeling okay mentally, and it's driving her crazy.
I could imagine.
And he doesn't even do it in English. It's another language.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he speaking Spanish or is it a
I don't know. I thought it was French.
It's very sexy sounding. And to hear Tachyon with the accent was a thrill.
Yeah, I heard you replay that part several times when I went past your corner. You like Tachyon me again.
Tachyon. Yeah,
I'm
just
sexy
like,
and engineering terms.
Oh my God. So we were watching this with the virtual premiere and we're all chatting back and forth. And the Borg ship shows up and fucking number 1 is like, dude, it's a giant vagina.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell? And I'm looking at it and going, oh shit, it kind of is.
But you see, you makes you wonder.
And the Borg Queen, what else would the Borg Queen want to travel around in, right? That's really phallic.
When he said that, my first thought was, how do you know what it looks like?
Exactly, right? He's heard stories, apparently.
It's like, what the hell? But yeah, it came out. I agree with 7. I would have just shot it just right off the bat.
And she literally laid it out. It's like, look, if we destroy him, it's a Borg ship. And but if I'm wrong, if I'm right, it's the end of the fucking Federation. Hello?
Yeah. But what's weird is when they were fighting, the Borg Queen, she wasn't killing people. She had her gun on stun and everything.
She sounded like 7 to me.
What?
She sounded like 7 to me.
Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, why is she stunning him? What does that mean? And I'm like, it means she doesn't know how to turn off the fucking safety. That's all it fucking means.
No. The Borg Queen knows the difference between safe and safety, I gotta kick that. What is she there for? And she's looking for power. I was like, oh my God, she's trying to take over the whole starship. No. She just wants to plug in and recharge her phone. She's just literally, that was a Borg USB. She had a couple of those in. She just wanted to plug in and patch in and get a recharge.
Well, she had total candor.
It was such a mystery.
I need you to help me, but first I want power.
Yeah, and she's wearing this big ass mask on her face. I'm like,
I'm still
queen.
thinking that she's 7. For some reason, her voice sounded like 7. And I noticed that she didn't shoot 7.
Ooh.
Everybody else is firing on her. And she's like 1, 2, 3 little Indians, 4, 5, 6, 7 little Indians. And she's popping them all out. And 7 nailed her 4 or 5 times. And she didn't do it. She didn't shoot her.
I'm wondering.
So do you think it's 7 in there?
I'm wondering because it's coming through a time dilation. So I'm wondering if it's coming through like the future
Well,
or
it's,
something
it's,
like
and we
that.
can't really talk much about that because you start sneaking into the next episode.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We're not allowed to talk about that. But we do know that is a rip in space-time fabric. And
Certainly.
if it's a rip in space-time fabric, maybe it did screw with the timeline.
It's a really good because when she came in and she's fuck.
Damn, Section 31.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to get an EMA to try to remove this thing because I don't want to talk about it with you guys even.
Well,
Okay.
switching. Oh, wait. Do you have more to say? I'm sorry.
No, I
No,
don't.
he's going to get zapped again.
Okay, so switching the topic, Stargazer, like they hinted a few times about Stargazer having a history and drama with it. And I was going to ask you guys, do you know what they're talking about? Of course, I've researched it, but I have way too many notes to just go into it. So I wanted to know like what you guys knew.
Stargazer was Picard's first ship that he was stationed on with
Yes.
Crusher's dad. I think was also
Yeah,
on
there
that
was
ship
history
back
there,
in the
yeah.
day. Yeah, there was history with that.
And then what happened with Crusher's dad? Do you want to tell people?
Yeah, he died on it. He died on that ship, and I don't remember the exact circumstance, but I do remember that Picard had something to do with it.
Crusher was saving people, and I don't know what Picard had to do with it, but the thing that Picard had to do with it in my notes was when he passed away, Picard was the one that gave Beverly his remains and had to tell Beverly and Wesley that the husband and father died.
Yeah, it was a pretty hardcore moment
It
right there.
was.
Really
Yeah.
sad. And
And
you
then
could
that's-
look back into history if you're able to binge watch before Netflix pulls it, the history in Star Trek Next Generation and find out about Crusher and how they barely diddle around this, but there's a history between Crusher and Picard and what happened before because the man they lost was Wesley's father and how Wesley Crusher and his mom, Beverly, are aboard the Starship Enterprise with Picard. It's like a whole thing, you know?
Yeah, but that's part of the reason why Beverly and Picard was sort of getting so close and intimate because they experienced this
Loss.
horrible thing together.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to know more information about it, if you want to look more information up about the Stargazer, the episode you actually see the Stargazer is the Next Generation Season 1, Episode 9, The Battle. It goes into this. And then if you want to see more episodes about the Stargazer, check out Season 2, Episode 9, A Measure of the Man, Season 6, Episode 4, Relics, Season 6, Episode 15, Tapestry. Those 4 episodes will be the main Stargazer episodes where you'll find out more information about that ship. And if you want just a few mentions, like if you want episodes where they just mention the Stargazer, that's Season 1, Episode 1 and 2, Encounter at Farpoint, Season 3, Episode 18, Allegiance, Season 4, Episode 12, The Wounded, and Season 5, Episode 12, Violations. And that's from all the Next Generation.
Did you binge watch all of these on Netflix just recently?
I did a lot of research. And then they also mentioned it in Picard Season 1, Episode 2, Maps and Legends.
That's amazing research.
Yeah.
That's why I'm proud I have the officers I have.
More
That is
information than you needed.
Cool. No, Dot. Don't try to trick me. Don't hold up a sign and ask me what happened in the second episode so I can spaz out. Get the fuck out of the room. I am not here for your amusement. Sorry. Okay.
I hope we see more of the Stargazer because that sucker was beautiful.
It was a sexy looking ship. It was.
It was.
Oh my God. I mean, it was always a cool looking ship with the 4 nacelles, but we never got that cool, 3D flyover, really nice look at it.
Yeah, they had a lot of beauty shots.
Oh my God. They had that, the nacelles were elongated and thin like they do on Discovery. Like they're extra, it's like a wide angle lens that they virtually put on the camera to do that. But then they got that one close up shot where they're looking at the anomaly in the background, but they're flying through the nacelles and you can see the detail on it. And it was just like, wow, this is really, I'm like thumbs up to the animators on that. That was great stuff.
Agree. It was really good stuff.
And it has the more modern looking cargo bay for the shuttles to come in and out. But it's like on the Stargazer, it's like it's got an extra big booty right there. I mean, it's nice and thick.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
So not only is the Stargazer lean and mean, but it's also thick in the back. It's just exactly what you want in a starship.
Did you guys notice the designation number too? So the designation number for this ship was 82893, and that's one digit, the 8 in the very beginning, more than Picard's ship, which was 2893. So they just added an 8 to the front of that.
Well, it's interesting. And then the Excelsior was 2000, but it was always 2000. So I think they're just fucking with the big fans of the Starship registry numbers.
But did you hear the names of the ships when they were first at the Academy?
The Hikaru Sulu, yeah. And the Grissom. The Grissom's still around.
Grissom,
yes.
And they had the Nakata Sulu.
Yes. They did some nice really Easter eggs right there.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And that transporter archway is kind of neat. I guess it reads your intent on where you want to go. And
it just sends you right there. It knows where you got to go and sends you right there. Yeah.
You know, so I guess that's very valuable. If you got to go to the bathroom, you can just run towards the archway and then you're right in the toilet, in the commode.
Sounded like you always had an urge from saying something for the second episode.
Yeah, I did, but I stopped before it came. So thankfully, don't be like the dots and try to get me to talk about the next.
The bridge of the Stargazer looks
good looking,
amazing. It's insane. It's got modern screen look to it, but it's big and huge. And I want to get my sister on her podcast to talk about this at some point because she actually somehow got involved with the company that does the paperwork that they deal with in production of the show, and she apparently stepped onto that sucker.
Oh my gosh.
And it was lit up too.
Yeah. So for everyone who doesn't know, Rocky's sister actually works on Picard, not on Picard, but like, I think it's accounting or something?
Some of the accounting department. She gets to deal with all the paperwork it's involved with. And there's a lot of paperwork involved with it.
She gets to see the actors and the actresses and the sets and everything.
Like she said, like one day Rafi walked in the door and she walked in the wrong section of the building and kept walking through, but she walked in and she could hear the voice, instantly recognized her. How cool is that shit? She said pictures were like, here we are in the parking lot, and that's Patrick's trailer over there. I'm like, dude, shit, there's a trailer. Oh my God. So I can barely contain myself about this. I can't wait to get my sister. I hope she'll be able to talk about it when we get her next on the show.
So go make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I mean, I just wouldn't be able to be work. They'd have to follow me around with a mop.
Exactly. I mean, even Patrick Stewart talking about this with Will Wheaton on the Ready Room was talking about how cool it was to walk on that set. So if even he was the captain of the fucking Enterprise and he thinks it's even cool. So I'm super jealous of Rios, and goodness, if you see what happens in episode 2, I'm like, I didn't say anything, but I'll just say this is such a beautiful bridge. And do we see it in the next episode? Will we see it in coming episodes? It's a big question mark.
Did you hear the trivia behind that bridge?
What's the trivia?
Originally, it was that bridge was the battle bridge in the Enterprise in Next Generation.
Yeah,
it was.
Was this bridge that bridge, or was this bridge just the bridge before that bridge? Was this bridge?
No, it was the Stargazer. So it was originally the battle bridge, and then they converted it to be on another type of bridge.
It was the Enterprise 1701A bridge,
right? And then they turned around and redid it again
as the Stargazer.
Is a Stargazer. Yeah. Then they turned around and updated it to be the new Stargazer. So I think that was pretty cool.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It really is. I have to order my thoughts properly because I don't feel like going through convulsions again.
You don't want to talk about what happened to Seven?
Yeah.
Don't bait him. Section 31 is going to zap him again.
But I thought it was really kind of cool, the whole thing. Did they put an implant or they got a fucking control collar on me somewhere where one of them is hitting a button?
A zap collar.
Seriously, like you do for dogs. Any rate, it was kind of cool to see Seven. She's trying to go along with everybody, but you see, she really just it's coming through the big vagina. Kill it. Kill it now. And they didn't listen.
She's nothing good will come of this.
No. And the whole thing where they're yelling at, Picard, you got to do the destruction. You got to do it. And then that one cryptic phrase, which tied into the beginning of the episode, is look up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty wild, the look up moment, because that's a lot of meaning to Picard, and it ties deep.
Yeah, but why did the Borg tell him that?
Or was he hearing things? Because that was insane to hear stuff like that.
So was it the Borg said, or was it his mother's voice? I don't know.
And it took him a moment to process and continue the self-destruct code that he was trying to get. Oh, spoiler alert. They says the self-destruct code. Anytime you hear that code announced on a bridge of a starship.
0, 0, 0, destruct
0. Oh my God. And it was only a 10-second countdown. I'm like, we need a little bit longer countdown, please. But not too long.
If you guys don't know what that's referencing, it comes from both the original series and the Search for Spock, in which it was established that 000 destruct 0 is the final command to blow up the ship.
Yeah,
I just hope the 0 key doesn't get stuck on your keyboard.
What if you're drinking soda and your keyboard gets sticky and you're just doing normal?
I love the one moment when you're binging through Star Trek The Next Generation before Netflix removes it. The one moment where Riker has to tell the computer to turn off the destruct code. By all means, please hurry, quick, stop, turn it off. And Picard's like, you just said just no.
But what happens if they're all there and somebody ordered lunch on the bridge and it's like, okay, you have the Coke 0, 0, 0, and you have the Coke 0.
Yeah, whoops.
What
you
is
think
that?
it's bad when you ask Alexa to turn on never mind. I was just shut up. I wasn't talking to you.
I didn't destroy the ship. I just wanted the channel.
I wanted to turn the lights on the room, for fuck's sake. Not blow up the entire house.
God, can I have a Coke 0? Did you mean destruct 0?
No.
That would be funny. Oh my God. But glad voice recognition is better. But this episode for Picard was full of all the feels. I mean,
they hit you hard with the feels.
Yeah, the whole thing. Go ahead.
I just want to bring up one more thing before we stop talking about this episode. When Guinan and Picard were having their therapy session in the bar, Guinan was saying that the only place you've ever been afraid to explore is, and I'm like, the bed sheets. Yeah. It's the bed sheets. The only place you've ever been afraid to explore is the bed sheets.
Yeah, but he did do it with Tosh, I think, didn't he?
I had to get that out.
Oh, yeah. With Vosh. With Vosh. Oh, yeah. They got down. So, I'm pretty sure they did. And then she went away with fucking Q. So you can understand.
And also with Inner Light, too. He got someone Inner Light because he had kids. But that was a mental masturbation thing.
That was a whole other. That wasn't even Q involved.
No.
I'm saying this is personal between Q and Picard that Vosh got to go on the Q journey.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. If I get a chance to talk to him again, I'm going to bring this up, and because I'm curious of what his thoughts might be on it. Maybe the reason why Picard doesn't want to really get involved with relationships is because technically he lived his entire life being a dad and a grandfather with Inner Light. So that curiosity part of him was satisfied. He had a chance to live as a family man.
That's a good point.
That's very interesting. I mean,
so I wonder what his thought is on that.
Some of us choose not to get involved.
Yeah.
And some of us consciously make that decision, and sometimes it just happens.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting thing to think about.
Yeah, it's very cool. What did you think of this week's episode?
Oh, I give this episode, I'm debating whether I want to give this an 8 or a 9. I think I'm going to go 8. I love the episode. It was fantastic. I love what they did. There was funny parts in it. I love what they did with Q and Guinan and how they explained their ages. And I think that they did a really fantastic. You know what? I'm just going to give this a 9. I'm just going to go ahead and give it. I just really like this.
You sound like me on date night. I'm just going to give it the 9. I really like this, so I'm going to give it the full 9.
It just grew to a 9.
The interior discussions inside of your head, sir.
No, I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
I love the line when he's talking with Guinan. We've jumped universes together.
I know.
Talk about the history between these two characters, and then we spent so many years on the starship. So I mean, it's amazing, and the history they've run back earlier in her life. Picard has met with Guinan back when they're hanging out with Mark Twain back in those days. So it's all very, very interesting that these characters given together with these hard times, and just before that Picard had this beautiful day of the harvest, the ending of the season and all that, and to literally state that he was so satisfied with that day. And of course, he blows it with Laris. But aside from that, then he goes to talk, with Guinan and say, hey, you see these two characters, and the universe isn't exploding at the moment. No. And it's nice to see them be able to sit there and talk about Picard. That we don't get to see that very often. No. It's neat to see that kind of sort of thing.
Yeah, it was a nice moment.
But at the same time, there's a lot in this episode that just kind of, you catch up with where everyone has been for the last year and a half. And even though it's been 2 years physically now, can you imagine waiting 2 years for a season of the show? This has been the long time in the waiting to get into the show. And I'm just very grateful they let us watch the episode 2 of this, because that was, this episode is a solid 9. I'm going to spoil it for you. The next episode is higher, a lot higher.
I have to agree. For me, for this episode, to see the look of genuine excitement and enjoyment that Guinan had on her face, that Whoopi Goldberg had on her face in Picard, you can see that wasn't just an acting moment. That was a genuine moment, which was really, really, it gave me the warm feels. And then when you turn around, and just the sheer gravitas of John Delancey Q, I just had tingles all up and down. His speed, you just riveted to the screen when he's sitting there talking, when Picard is trying to give him attitude, and the way that Q narrowed his eye and kind of is like, dude, don't fuck with me. It's just amazing, amazing. I'd have to give it a full 9 myself. It's a really, really good episode. However, I can't say it because I don't want a chance that Section 31 is going to make me freak out on this. What's the next episode name? Somebody, please, other than me. Please, I don't want to take a chance. I don't know if I could say it or not without.
I don't remember.
Captain, we don't have the title for the next episode.
We saw it, but I don't remember seeing a title on it.
We did. Okay.
Oh my God!
I don't think we
I'm
have
going to try
title.
this. Please, please, please. I hope this works because it's not a spoiler. It's just a name. And if you're invisible in my room with a pet collar, don't zap me. Next week's episode we're going to be watching is called Penance. It didn't happen. Okay, cool. All right. Next week's episode is going to be called Penance. We're going to be watching it, and we're going to be reviewing it, and we're going to be able to see it again. This time we get a chance to see exactly when Q turns around and...
Oops, you said too much. You said too much. I mean, there's a lot of similarity in some of those scenes between the ending of this one and then the start of that one.
I got too excited because this is one scene that, we're going to have to talk about it next week.
Yeah.
But however, thanks everyone for joining us on this double-fisted, and some people love that episode.
Whatever pops your top.
Discovery. Yep. And we're going to be doing it again next week. So please come aboard and listen. We're going to try to get Rocky's sister on board because she's amazing. So whenever that happens, you guys going to be in for a treat to get some more behind-the-scenes stuff. I hope Patrick doesn't come back with big cowboy boots and a big belt, but we'll see once he gets finishes on Freecloud, and so he'll be back. So thanks everyone for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this show as much as we love giving it to you.
That sound right?
And we would love giving it to you.
So are we allowed to say that to our audience?
I don't know.
Have you seen our audience? Oh my God.
That's true. Well, we get pimping that hoe. I'm sure he loves giving things as well as Don. So, thanks you guys for joining. Who else?
Pimpin's a girl.
Don?
No, Dom's a guy. Pimpin's a girl.
Yeah, Dom. That's what I meant, Dom. Okay, Dom by now can speak Nathan, so we're good. So make sure you listen to the end of the show so you can get all of our show notes,
guys.
our location, and all of our websites and everything else. But if you don't want to wait to the end, if you just click right off, you'll miss Rocky's wonderful baritone voice. But you can always send us an email at the collective at starfleetunderground.com. Once again, it is the collective at starfleetunderground.com. And if you wanted to go to a Pacific crew member, just start it off with the name of the crew member you wish that email to go to. So thanks everyone for listening. It's a gorgeous day across the states. So make sure not only you have a great week, but make it so.
And if you can, support the show by going to patreon.com/Starfleet Underground. Lots of perks to choose from, and you might even like some of them. Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.